Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 2 of this distance learning stuff for math class, at least. We're doing day 2 of 7-1. You'll want to have paper, pencil, all your sorts of note-taking supplies here. Remember, you can hit pause at any time. When you have questions, make sure you hit me up. Send me a message on Schoology, send me an email, drop into that Zoom meeting, whatever you might need to get your help taken care of. So we're going to roll through this. Big key concept for part 2 of lesson 1 here is right now. We have to find the power of a product, we need to multiply the exponents. Now that's something that we already did. So it's a power of a power in my world, and we need to multiply. So the way that this looks is you take this number here, which is an x to the first and a y to the first, and that whole thing is being to the 5th power. So the way we do this is it's kind of like the distributive property. That 5 goes to each piece. So then we have a 1 times 5 to make an x to the 5th, and a 1 times 5 to make a y to the 5th. And that's a little bit of a review stuff, I believe, from last time. So this is your answer then for simplifying that part. As we roll through the next one, same exact process. This 2 goes to all 3 chunks. We have the -3, we have the a to the 3rd, and we have the b to the 7th. So it's going to look like this. We have a -3 to the 2nd power. We're going to multiply that to an a to the 3rd to the 2nd power times a b to the 7th to the 2nd power. So we're going to use our rules for each one of those things. A -3 to the 2nd power means -3 times -3. So -3 squared makes a 9. And a to the 3rd to the 2nd makes it, because we have to multiply, because a power to a power we multiply, makes an a to the 6th, because 3 times 2 is 6. And then a to the 7th to the 2nd means 7 times 2, so we're going to have a b to the 14th. So that's just how simple this goes. If you're finding that to be a little bit confusing, make sure you reach out to me. I'll do my best to help you out. You are hanging out in my living room with me, so this is kind of weird for all of us, I think. All right, next step, we're going to utilize this rule a little bit more. So we're just going to, again, I'm going to call it to distribute. It's kind of like that. So each piece gets to the 4th power. So we're going to have a 2 to the 4th, and m to the 2nd to the 4th, and a n to the 3rd to the 4th. So we just have to execute all of that math. 2 to the 4th means, now watch how I do this, 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16. So 2 to the 4th became a 16. Now somebody once along the way probably told you don't count on your fingers. I'm telling you, it's okay. Then an m to the 2nd to the 4th, we multiply, so we get an m to the 8th. And n to the 3rd to the 4th, we multiply, so we get an n to the 12th. So again, that is your answer, and we just keep rolling through it. Another problem for us, and we'll go through these as quickly and as slowly as we can to make this make sense. We have a -3 that gets that 2nd power. We have a p to the 5th, which gets to the 2nd power, a t to the 3rd, which gets that 2nd power. So again, this is still a 9. This part here, 5 times 2 makes a p to the 10th. 3 times 2 makes a t to the 6th. And hopefully I don't make any mistakes here. So the only things that can really start to screw us up here, folks, is if we start having bad math where you multiply the wrong way. All right, so simplifying. The final expression will always have positive exponents. So our next lesson we'll talk a little bit about negative things, I think. Each variable base appears only one time. We can't have b's and b's and b's. Only one set of b's. And then no powers of powers. And then all fractions are in simplest form. So those are good things to write down. So we're going to go through these super quickly. A power times a power, the rule from last time was to add. So that means you're going to do 4 plus 7. So that one makes an x to the 11th. A power times a power, which means we're going to add. So we get 2 to the 5th. A power to a power means to multiply. So we're going to get x to the 20th. A power to a power means multiply. So we get m to the 16th. Now I'll get my ugly mug out of the way here so you can see more of this stuff. Now again, as we make things more difficult, we're asking you to kind of distribute this. So a 3 to the 4th, 3 to the 4th, a g to the 2nd to the 4th, h to the 3rd to the 4th. 3 to the 4th is an 81. That makes a g to the 8th and an h to the 12th. Now again, I just multiplied these things out just like our rule says to do. Now same thing happens over here. The 6 goes to each piece. Now notice, this is where I'm trying to trick you. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So I need to have 4 lines coming from there. So 2 to the 6th, I don't know if I can do that one so quickly. X to the 4th to the 6th. Here's the tricky part. This is a y to the 1st to the 6th. So there's an imaginary 1 there. And then a z to the 7th to the 6th. All right, to the 6th, 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64. All right, did that well. Now the other thing you could do is use your calculator, but I like to exercise my brain, especially if I don't get to be in math class with you guys. We've got to exercise. Otherwise I'm going to get stupid. I started doing math without talking. We just multiplied 6 times 4, 24, 6 times 1 is 6, 7 times 6, 42, and kept my letters there. All right, we can keep rolling. This one should go super fast. Now, the cool part about this problem is how we want the regular numbers get multiplied with regular numbers. So 4 times a negative 2 makes a negative 8. The x to the 2nd goes with the x to the 1st, so we add, when we multiply, that makes an x to the 3rd. A y to the 3rd times a y to the 2nd, we're multiplying, so we add, we get a y to the 5th. And then we have a z to the 1st and a z to the 4th, we add to get z to the 5th. Now again, we're trying to get you guys to remember very, very carefully that this z to the 1st actually has a 1 up there, even though it's not written there unless you put it there. So be super duper careful. All right, next one. So this 2 has to go to each of our pieces. Now, I drew that really badly, sorry. So it goes to the end of the 4th and it goes to the 3. So this becomes a 3 to the 2nd of 9 and n to the 4th to the 2nd. So a power to a power we multiply, so we have n to the 8th. And that whole thing is going to get multiplied to this other guy over here. So this is an n to the 1st, so we have 2 to the 3rd, which is an 8. And an n to the 1st to the 3rd, 1 times 3 makes it n to the 3rd. So now we can do what we did up above, and we're going to multiply our coefficients together. 9 times 8 makes a 72. And then the n to the 8th and the n to the 3rd, because they are multiplying, we add, makes an n to the 11th. And that's how this process works out for us, folks. Now, we're going to roll through these as quickly as we can. Make sure that you guys get what you need. If you are comfortable with this, you can fast forward. If you need to hit pause, hit pause. If you need to beat me done, but I'm not going to race too much because we want to explain to the best of our abilities. So each piece gets to the 2nd power, so 4 to the 2nd power makes a 16, n to the 5th to the 2nd makes an n to the 10th, m to the 3rd to the 2nd makes an m to the 6th. Power to a power, we multiply. That 4 goes to each piece. So now we have 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Okay. So I'm still working on my math skills. All right, so now I have a 16 to the 2nd to the 4th means n to the 8th, to the 3rd to the 4th means m to the 12th. Now I'm going to put together my numbers. 16 times 16, I believe, is 256. n to the 10th and n to the 8th. We multiply, which means we add. That's an n to the 18th. And then as to this m to the 6th, m to the 12th, we multiply, so we add. That makes an m to the 18th. Now I'm going to go through this one with you real quickly as well. Hopefully you guys are understanding this process. It's the exact same thing over and over and over again. So we get a negative 2 to the third. Now that means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So a negative 2 times negative 2 makes a positive 4, times a negative 2 makes a negative 8. A x to the 4th to the third makes an x to the 12th, a y to the 6th, and a z to the 3rd, because there's an imaginary 1 up there. Now our next piece, 2 to the 4th, we just said was 16, right? So now we're going to have a 16. X to the 1st to the 4th makes an x to the 4th. Y to the 2nd to the 4th makes a y to the 8th. Power to a power, we multiply. Z to the 3rd to the 4th makes a z to the 12th. And now we're on to our same steps again. We're going to multiply 8 times 16. I don't know that one off the top of my head, so I'm going to grab my trusty dusty calculator here. I haven't used this thing in many, many moons. And I got a negative 128, so that's going to be my number out here in front. And then we're going to have our next ones, x to the 12, x to the 4th. When we multiply them, we add the exponent, so it becomes x to the 16th. Our y's get put together. We have a total of 14 y's, because 6 of them and 8 of them together makes 14. And then our z's, we have a grand total of 15, because when we multiply, we add. All right, folks, that's how this lesson works. Check everything out on Schoology. If you have questions, hit me up. If you don't have questions, hopefully you're showing that through your Schoology stuff. So this is the Bourbon Nation. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Stay safe, be healthy, get some exercise, tell your mom and dad you love them, hang out, have a good time, enjoy this